got
Hey.
YouTube.
There we are.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. I can hear you.
Okay, so
let's check and see our social media to make sure we're there.
yeah.
Let's see. Oh, yep, we're there. I see us.
We're there.
Okay, I've got your Facebook stuff. And
Excellent.
I've got YouTube.
Excellent. Yep. Okay. So
yes.
So the video isn't streaming on YouTube yet.
Video is not streaming on YouTube yet.
Okay, let me check it out.
It's coming up.
Okay. YouTube. See what's going on. Why is it not there? Okay. Oh, I see it. Oh, it says we're live. Okay, it says we're live on YouTube.
Megan, would you mind
yeah, we're here.
This group too, please?
Yeah. Okay, we're here. Yeah, we're on there. All right, I see it.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
We have continuity on all of our streams here. I think we're live and good. So
hey,
welcome to the Magic Hour with Anna Stone and Stephanie Siren. And we're here to talk about everything witchy and witchcraft, and what it is to actually be a witch in today's modern society.
Right. Yes. So welcome. And this is our first go with this. So probably some tech hiccups on the way, but hey, bear with us. We're trying to get the swing of things. But Stephanie, so talk a little, what do you do? What are your credentials?
Okay, so hi guys, I am Stephanie Siren, and I am an evidential psychic medium and a full-time embodied witch. And I have credentials of, I am a Reiki master. I also am a practitioner of energetics. I am a healer. I lay on of hands. I'm also traditionally trained in the way of Usui-do Japanese Reiki, and also shamanistic traditional laying on of hands of healers as well. I am an initiated priestess of the left-hand path, and I am also a reverend with non-denominational religion. I am a forever student. I'm constantly learning. I'm very thirsty for knowledge, as most witches are, right?
I would hope.
Yeah. So what about you, Anna?
Well, okay. So hi, I'm Anna Stone, and I'm owner of a Stone Tarot Magic. So I do tarot readings and shadow work guidance for people that have inner child trauma or childhood trauma, that are, an inner child mischief going on. I'm a student. I'm a grad student. I have a master's degree in education, and I'm almost done here. I have two terms, like 15 units left before I get my second master's in consciousness and transpersonal psychology. And I'm also concurrently enrolled to getting my PhD in transpersonal psychology. So I do a lot of research, and I've been practicing witchcraft since I was 12, and I am 44. So that's 32 years now. And we were doing it way before it was cool. Way before. I'm so grateful that it's I'm so grateful that it's become a thing now, to an extent, because now we can talk about this. Like before, I would never have been able to talk about this, especially as a teacher.
10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Even 10 years ago, I could not do this.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And like we still face adversity doing this even in this modern day.
Sure. Like if I was still teaching high school, I would not ever be able to talk about this because some parent would freak out and like get me fired. But I teach college now. I teach college psychology. So I'm fine. It's okay. And actually my admin totally knows, and they're totally fine with it. So I'm not worried about that in any way, shape, or form. But still we have people that, I've seen other lives where people are like, do you eat babies or do you kill people? Like, really guys, come on, I also teach world religion too, so that at the college level, so that's given me a lot of background to understand where people are coming from when they ask questions like this. And it's so I try to be patient, and I will be patient, but just know that if you believe that, do some research, man. Like, please, like, pick up a book or, Google. I don't know. Just saying. So, yeah. But and then I'm clairaudient. So I hear things a lot. And I actually went and got tested at USC, at the university here in Los Angeles, to make sure I wasn't losing my damn mind, because you always have to be rational in your approach to things. So yeah, like if you're hearing stuff, like you might want to rule out any natural causes for it, such as
very much so, especially in this day and age when everybody's saying, well, everybody's psychic, and that is just so not true.
Not true.
There is self-revelation where you have moments of aha about yourself or maybe your family, like intuition, but that's different than living the way that we do.
Right.
It's very different.
Right. Like we get information about strangers that we could not even, nothing
beyond all reasoning. It's
not even fun all the time. It's not fun. So there's times it's absolutely stressful because you'll get information you can't do anything about. You can only watch it play out, and that's stressful. It's like, why would you show me that? Why would we know that? Why do I need to know that? I can't do anything about it.
Right. Like it's a blessing and a curse, right? Like people will say, well, it's a gift. And with this gift comes a price that is paid because there is a balance in the universe.
Right. And that's what we're going to talk about today in general, is the 12 universal laws that, rule all of us, whether you believe them or not, whether you're a subscriber to that it doesn't apply to me crowd or not. The fact is you can't escape. Believe in it or not,
you can't escape the energetic truth of it. It just is. And like that's the whole thing about universal laws, is it doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not, it is just an absolute.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's nice that you can pretend and have fun with that, but you will pay your price regardless at some point.
We'll catch up to you.
Yes. So Liz, I see Liz has Liz is here, and like, Liz, are you still here? Sorry, we're not trying to
or reading questions throughout the live. Or
okay. Yeah, so we're gonna wait, say that again, Megan.
Are you taking questions for like reading questions throughout, or are you waiting until the end?
Okay, so we're taking questions regarding anything that has to do with witchcraft.
The topic right now. But if it's a personal psychic question, we'll be doing that at the end.
Right. So like at the end, we'll do like a quick reading for people that have been hanging out. But in the meantime, any question you have about psychic ability or witchcraft or the occult or esoteric, anything at all, feel free to ask, and we will answer that in real time.
Yeah.
So that's the point. Is we're trying to like spread information that's grounded in reality.
Right.
Because online there's so much stuff that's not true. Just misinformation out there.
Yeah.
No. And it doesn't do us any favors to have that stuff floating around. So we're trying to correct that, I guess, to the best of our ability. So feel free to ask anything you want to know.
Because, guys, it's so funny. It dawned on us the other day. We were just talking to each other about all these subjects of misinformation. And like, well, who's going to help with this knowledge, this esoteric knowledge that is mostly carried in a lineage that is spoken word, teacher to student. It's not, it's part of mystery school. It's not something that is general knowledge, right?
Right.
And so like when people are seeking out these ancient knowledges, right, and these mysteries and esoteric knowledges, you don't want to get misinformation.
Right.
And so that's why we were both kind of, I think, called to do that, to just be like, okay, you know what? I know this and I want to help other people understand.
Yeah. So Liz is saying that she's new to witchcraft. And yeah. So like, Liz, do you want to, what do you mean? Like, are you practicing now, or are you interested in practicing, or, what's your deal? Let us know. And, because new witches, I don't like calling them baby witch. I don't like that term. I
know. I would get mad if somebody called me a baby witch.
I feel like an apprentice is better. Like, I don't like it because
I sometimes say protege.
Okay. She knows about it. She just is newer to it.
New to the practice.
Okay.
So she's not a witch. Well, if you're practicing, that's the thing, is a lot of people practice witchcraft without knowing it. Like prayers are the same thing as a spell. It's the same thing. Songs, for instance, like people that craft songs, songwriters, those are spells. Like the words have meaning and power. Poetry, all of that. It's the same energetic signature, right? Like it's coming from the person, it's part of them, and they're putting it out there. And it has meaning to it. And, as people, like, I don't know about you, but I love music. It's kind of a thing for me. And so I'm sure that you have a song that you relate to that really just hits you, right? Like, that you're getting that gift from that person that wrote it. That's an energy exchange, right?
Right. And actually, this is a phenomenon for me, and it's kind of silly, but it's true. And you'll understand this because it is a witch thing that we have. I think it's a healer thing too. People get enamored with us very quickly.
Yeah.
And they feel like they're in love with us.
Or they hate it.
Fast. Or they can't stand us.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah. There's no middle ground there.
There's no middle ground.
Nope.
And so there's a lot of songs, right, inspired by us and things of that nature, really. And that is a type of spell, right?
Right. Yeah. Anything that you put your energy and your heart and soul into, it can be considered, like, if you're looking at it that way, like, it can be like witchcraft. Like, people can curse people without knowing it. Like, when you're constantly thinking hateful thoughts towards somebody and you're putting out like negative things, like, that's the evil eye. Like, that's what that is.
Because intent is everything in energetics. It is, like, if you don't fully believe and fully feel this and fully are in 1000%, not just 100%, like, you've got to be so far in, you are ride or die to this thing. Like, I will die on this hill about this thing. Like, it's got to be that kind of commitment to get there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why. And then, like, the reason spell crafting doesn't work for a lot of people is because they cannot meet those like the rules of it. Right. So, because if everyone could do it, we'd be in a heap of trouble. Right. Like, let's just put that out there. Like, the fact that everybody cannot do it is a good thing. Definitely. Definitely. But so let's talk about the 12 universal or spiritual laws of the universe. Right. So the first law is the law of divine oneness. And so what does that mean? What does that mean? What is the law of divine oneness? Stephanie, what would you say?
Actually, you and I were talking about this the other day, and I'm going to refer to the idea of ego, because ego is where we find identity, right? It's where we find separation from the collective, right? It's where we define who we are. Right? Like, ego would be like, my name is, I am separating myself from the collective in that respect, right?
Yeah.
So the law of oneness basically is that we are all the same.
Yeah.
I am God, and so are you.
Yeah, we're all fragments of the same, like, universal consciousness that we are experiencing human emotion and humanity in as ourselves, but like at the end, and I know this because I died in 2016. I actually died for like more than 6 minutes in the hospital, and I was there, so I saw it, and we like upload like all of our experience to that collective understanding. And it was crazy because I was I didn't believe in any of that shit, to be honest with you. Like, none of it. I was a scientist for 20 years. Government, I was a civilian contractor with the military for DARPA, Department of Defense, doesn't matter, like, all of that stuff, totally black and white thinking that there's no life after death, there's none of that. And then I died, and now that changed everything. Like, for me, I had to rethink. I had a crisis, to say the least, where I had to realize that, oh crap, I was wrong. And being able to admit you're wrong is like a thing that everyone should be able to do. Like, when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I was wrong. So now I'm like, since that happened, I've been like, nope, I'm going to be all about, like, now I just know. I know it matters. It's about being nice to everybody. Because at the end, you're being mean to yourself if you're being a dick. You know what I mean? Like, literally.
You truly are. You truly are, because what it is you are experiencing self in other. Like, that is our whole purpose here, is to experience other. And to honor each other as ourself, right?
Right.
And because, like, again, as I say, I am God and so are you. You know, we are all part of this energy.
Right. And that doesn't
You
even
know?
go against what the church says, because the church says that God
Mhm.
created man in his image, right? So it's the same thing.
Right.
Like, right. So the second law is the law of vibration. This one explains a lot for those of you that are like the black sheep of the family, or you know, kind of like the odd guy out your whole life, maybe. This one will explain that for you. This one
Mhm.
resonates with me very much so, like, because if you have a trauma background from childhood, you're definitely going to have experienced issues with the law of vibration, right? Stephanie, do you
Oh,
agree?
absolutely.
Why is that?
Well, okay, so for instance, are we? I think I'm going to give like a 3D world kind of analogy first. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I heal others, right? And it's an energetic, right? And in order to get where we're at, we had to go through some hoops of being pretty weird and outcast, right? Like we had to have traumas and be pushed away in order to understand energetics,
Right.
and in order to really feel, right? And so because of that, we vibrate differently.
Right.
And when I'm healing people, they feel me in vibration. Right. Or in heat. Like they'll get really hot or really cold based on what they need. Right. And the law of vibration is that we all vibrate, right, at different frequencies. Mm-hmm. And so if you're in a family where you're the black sheep, it's usually because your vibration is different than the rest of
higher.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a higher vibration. And like, if you're the person that, you know, throughout school or just your own, even in work, with the dynamics of coworkers or classmates, where you're kind of always not in the group, like you're just on the outskirts of your group, and you kind of always feel like left out. It's the reason for that is because you're vibrating at that different frequency, and your peers can't identify it, but they still know something's off, and people are scared of what they don't know. So the easiest solution for that is to ignore you or to avoid you rather than to figure out what it is. And then you'll see the opposite happen, where people are really drawn to you. And those people are the ones that also vibrate at a different frequency, and they are, or they're normies, and they can pick up on the fact that, hey, this person might be good to hang out with because they have the ability to survive this, because this is coming from our hunter-gatherer days. Like back, this is where it's coming from, is our first stages of evolution. We haven't changed at all in that sense, physiologically, since those times. So what we needed to survive in a wild environment, quite literally, we still have, yet we don't have that wild environment. So that's why when we have anxiety, it's over things that are not that big of a deal, like given the whole picture, right? Because we still have that fight or flight mechanism that gets activated, but we don't have the dangers that used to activate it. So now we've kind of, now it's bills and breakups and things like that, you know, that really upset people, and, you know, cause us to have our stresses and anxieties. But vibration is about how we resonate in our environment, and trauma changes that. And it's scientifically proven trauma changes our physiology of our brains and our genetic makeup. So there's no reason to believe that it doesn't change our frequency, none whatsoever.
Oh, so I agree with that, but also I want to add to that too. I want to add to that that when you're in relation with another person, okay, and you're vibrating differently, it's gonna feel like shit.
Yeah.
And like, if you find yourself in a relationship where you're feeling shitty instead of like really, really good, it's because you're vibrating differently. And it's really nobody's fault. It's just your paths are different.
Right.
You know, like you're coming to that fork in the road, because we're meant to grow in and out of people's lives. Like that's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be with one person forever. That's not realistic in order for the growth that is necessary to happen, because humans change.
Well, like, but some people can do that when they're just, that's their path. Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And there's contracts for that, right?
Right.
Some people have those contracts, but people like us don't.
Yeah. So we're constantly having in and outs on groups, on relationships and things like that. And yeah, and it
Well,
can be
because as medicine women, right, as energetic masters, right, as witches, when somebody is in our energetic container, they get worked, whether they like it or not.
Triggered a lot. Yeah. Like people tend to take things that that we do like as a personal attacks and things like that when they're not at all, and they get really triggered. So if you have a growing you need to do, and you hang out with people that are doing this work legitimately and embodying it, like you will be triggered, and like you will be
worked by the energetics into alignment for your highest good, really. I mean, your highest education in human, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, because you can't stay stagnant. Stagnation is no good.
To come and live with a medicine woman, right, is to face your deepest, darkest shadows head on, right? Like right in your face, and having to decide, am I going to choose to jump in the void also, or am I just going to go crazy?
Right. Or am I going to just get angry and play games or be in competition for some reason? Like, it's not that. There's no competition. It's about just making space for everybody. And if you can't make space for yourself,
those are deep down shadows, right? Those are deep down shadows at play.
Right. Absolutely. But that's the thing, is we kind of bring that out.
We do.
Unfortunately. So the next one is the big one for magic working, law of correspondence. Right. So the law of correspondence is about as above, so below, like the whole pattern thing. So of every good thing, there's a bad thing, the equal and opposite, right? That's the laws of thermodynamics. Like for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So this is basic physics. Like you can't escape this. This is literally physics. And it is. It's about, when you are doing spell work, all right, and you do a spell and then you don't know why it didn't work. Well, what were you doing after the spell? Were you thinking about it?
Right.
Were you
acting as if? Were you acting as if, or did you forget about it?
Did you say it's not working? Oh my God, when is it going to work? When is it going to work? Because that's
right. Did you question it? Because you're in control of the outcome if you commit to it. Right. But that's also like with manifestation, right? Which is like you have to act as if it already has happened.
Right. And people can't do that. It's really when you're so worked up that you're going to do a spell over something. And I'm typically say about like love, because this is like where we see this the most, is like somebody, wants an ex to come back to them or something. And so they're like, do some love spell, which, there's people think that that's not good because it messes with free will. And other people think they don't care about it. It depends. There's no right or wrong here. That's up to you to decide.
Okay? No, I don't think there's a right or wrong on this one.
Right. Because witchcraft is not a religion, right? So we don't have any set rules about how you practice it. It's all yours. Like, it's you. And that's like the beauty of it, is we don't have to be, you can incorporate whatever you want into it. It doesn't matter. It's not a religion. Yeah. Wicca is a religion.
Right.
Witchcraft is not. So not all witches are Wiccan. Okay. Right. And not all Wiccan, but all Wiccans are witches, right? Like that's how it goes.
Yeah. So, right. That's exactly how it goes. That's the Venn diagram. I think.
Yeah. So the law of correspondence is about, patterns that exist in your life, and like what's happening here, the opposite will be happening on the other side of it. So, which is like quantum physics, the law of entanglement, like that's the same thing. It's like you have a reaction here and it affects something way over here. That's what energy works about, literally. And this is proven in labs. So, for those people that are still on the fence, are like saying that magic is not real. It's like literally it's science.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's just that we haven't been able to quantify it with our instrumentation and our methods of discovery at this point. That's all. Because, and that's the thing.
Well, I actually have a reason why I don't even offer my ritual services anymore. Okay, so I was offering them, and the energetics got too crazy for some of my clients who like weren't ready to act as if.
Yeah.
And
they're not. Most people are not.
There were some major like bad things energetically that happened that didn't hurt anyone, but it was like a big energy movement.
Right. Yeah, Liz, magic is
like
like
a tree falling, a tree falling in their yard, or somebody got in a car accident kind of situation. Nobody was harmed, but it was just the movement of the energy. It's not okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, because if you're, yeah. And Liz,
and so I was like,
Liz is asking, I thought science or magic is a science too. Yeah. No, it is. It is science. It is science. Like I'm former scientist here for over, actually it's like 30 years now. Literally in a lab working for the government. Yes, like that is true. And any science, like I was gonna say science practitioner, scientist, any scientist worth their salt that's been in the field long enough has literally, they'll say they don't know instead of no, it's not real. Like when we talk about certain things, they'll be like, we don't know. Because we don't. If you look through history, like the first people that knew, like that discovered the cell and stuff, had drawn it out before they discovered it. Like they knew like what it was, and then they were told that they were crazy, and then they were like murdered. So then later, posthumously, they were honored, of course, a little too late. But they were right. So we have tons of examples of science being wrong about things, and then having to, eat crow at the end of the day.
Because science is always changing. I mean, of course, because as we learn more, we have to adapt, right?
Yep. And now quantum physics and quantum mechanics has really put everything into,
absolutely.
And that's on the line. It's put everything into like, it's all possible. So
I know.
Now what? Like now what, guys? It's all possible,
right?
Yeah.
And like when we talk about quantum physics, I mean, it's proven there's probabilities, right? And that's like the thing. I like to base things off of the Bayesian probability, which is basically that if you think it could happen, then you can make it happen.
Oh yeah, like if you think about it, it's either already happened or happening right now because you thought it. Just like
it's like happening in some dimension, which gives it an energetic, so it can pop into this one.
Right. So like crazy fact, and you can look it up. And also look up stuff, guys. Like if you hear things and you're like, I don't know about that, freaking research it. Like simple. So you can do this. If you go to the Nobel Prize website, last year, the Nobel Peace Prize went to a group of German doctors that wrote a paper about like quantum physics, and the whole thing was about this scenario. I'm gonna layman's terms here. You drop a quarter behind the couch and you don't pick it up right away. And you come back to like say a month later or however long later, okay, doesn't matter. And you pull the couch out and you see that it's heads up, right? Was it always heads up? The answer is no, it wasn't. It had no choice until you looked at it. And they've proven this in the lab through the slit experiments, where photons of light don't make a decision until they're actually viewed, until somebody's looking at them.
They're responded to.
Yes, like so that's just mind-blowing to me. Like, wait a minute. Like the whole saying of like if a tree falls in the forest, did someone does it make a sound if no one's around? Like we've known this inherently somehow forever. We have sayings about it, but like it just was discovered. So like that's crazy to me. I don't know. Like the fact that it's nothing, all possibilities are possible until you look, and that's when the decision is made.
And that's why when us witches talk about being rooted and why rooting is so important, right? And grounding and all of that, like we talk about it so much because it's part of it. It's part of understanding that you're in this type of matrix, that you can control your outcome. Right?
Yeah. So the law of attraction,
the energetic laws.
Yes. Good way to like fourth law is the law of attraction. Like now everybody should probably know this one because of things like the promise or what is it? Like,
the secret.
The secret. That's what it was. I didn't read it. So but like law of attraction, right? That whole thing. Like with it says manifesting, which is the same. So what does that mean, Stephanie? What does it mean to be the law of attraction? How does that look in real life?
Okay. So the law of attraction is this. Personally, how I like to practice it is that I don't commit to any outcome except a big generalized one of what I want.
Right, how you feel, right? Like how
I don't care how I get it. Right. Is the thing. Like I'm not committed to how I get there. It's just like this is the thing. Okay? And I know that it's coming to me. and I'm not going to question what avenue it takes to come to me.
Right. Yep.
So I'm going to act as if it's coming to me already.
Right.
Because I know it is.
Yep. It's the fake it till you make it law.
Right. Because the universe loves to give back what it's receiving. Okay. Right. And that's also true with money energetics. And I love money energetics. Like, that's a fun one to talk about.
It actually works. But like the problem here, though, is the negative of this. And this is where most people find themselves. Because just like, this can work with good things, but more often than not, it's bad things that are happening. So if you're somebody that is constantly attracting negative things or like bad luck, and you don't understand why this bad luck is following you around, more than likely it's the mindset.
You have a belief.
What was that?
You have a belief.
Yeah, there's some thing internally that is causing this lack mindset or whatever. And I'm a prime example of this, because literally I was that way until 2 years ago, when I some stuff happened in my career, and I was just like, I'd given up on being kind of screwed over, and I was just like, you know what, fine, I'm just gonna let it go and not be upset about this, and good things will happen. And I just changed it, and then literally good things started happening, and it's been that way ever since. And I'm not questioning it at all. There's no question in my mind. I'm just like, that's fine, I'm gonna keep writing this, and it's cool. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care how I got there. I'm happy that it's good. I'm able to pay my bills and take care of my kid, and that's good, right? That's all that matters. But if you're I want to get rich by being famous, and and I want to be this whatever, that's not. You're being too specific. You have to just know the end result is what we're looking for. The end result, how you feel, how it fulfills you, that kind of thing is what you need to focus on if you're trying to manifest positivity into your life, right?
Right. You have to, like I said, you have to act as if, dude, and it'll mirror it in every way, shape, or form. Something that I do that's really powerful even is I just wake up in the morning and hug myself every morning. Yep. I'm not even kidding. And it's a thing. I hug myself, tell myself I love myself, and it's like an affirmation, and it's almost like a devotional thing, I'm choosing you for your highest good every single time. And that's an incantation. That's the whole thing.
I do it in the mirror. If I'm having if I'm stressed about something, I'll look in the mirror and be like, you got this. Just pep talk, a small one. And it seems silly at first, and you will kind of laugh at yourself, but if you keep doing it, it definitely, you'll notice the change. I'm
okay. So this is a funny one, because I'm a little bit of an extremist because of my Scorpio moon, but mine goes to the point where I will roll up a doobie and talk to myself in the mirror while I'm smoking. I will be like, you're a bad bitch, you got this,
So Liz just said in the comments that that during her healing when she started her healing process, that the childhood wounds that she had forgotten started popping back up. That's really common.
So
common. That's par for the course, Liz.
That is so common.
Yeah. So then that's a good thing. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but I'm gonna explain why it's a good thing. We forget those things. It's a defense mechanism our brain has to hide us from that truth when we're not capable of handling it. When we get to a certain point in our evolution, in our maturity, in our emotional maturity and understanding that we can handle it, that's when they start popping back up. So that's a sign to me that you're on your way, on your healing path, and you're doing the work that's good and that you're needed to do in order for you to heal these things. And honestly, it's they come up slowly, and you're never going to know when you're actually done. In fact, the healing process is not ever actually done.
No, never.
Yeah.
We're still healing.
Yeah. So
it's forever.
Yeah. But you'll be enough healed, to where you can have a more calm existence. Right. So what you should do, in this case, is start writing that stuff down, because when you write it down, you take it away from you. When you put it on paper, you take it out of you and unburden yourself with it. So
absolutely, and
shadow work is a big key
to that too.
Yeah,
because I worry about people worrying about manifestation when it comes to the trauma healing process, and so I want to interject something before we move on. Is that don't think you have to be super positive all the time for manifestation. This is the real world.
Right.
and you are allowed to have real feelings, because if you don't feel them, you're not able to transmute them, okay,
Right.
and heal them, okay.
Right.
So you definitely need to feel them to heal them.
Right.
And that's something that I actually coach also,
Right.
with my other company too. But you have to feel to heal, right?
Right. Yeah. And like the anger issue, like I think anger and spite are great emotions, honestly. And like
They
a lot of
are.
people say no.
They're protective.
Right, because they're your best friend. They're the ones letting you know something's fucking wrong. Okay. Like somebody's treating you wrong and you're mad for a reason. So you can use that energy you get from it and you can definitely transmute that like into something positive. But like you need to sit with it, because guess what? The things that happen to you are not fair. And like that's just the
Right.
facts. Like, shouldn't have happened, but it did. Nobody, like, people should have came to your rescue. They didn't. Like that kind of stuff. It's okay to be angry about it. So like the whole all positivity is not realistic.
It's not the thing.
It's not.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be positive about being abused, I don't know. It doesn't seem healthy to me, like for some reason.
You've got to have some righteous anger in there to protect your inner child who's hurt,
Yeah, you're the guardian. You're the protector. Right.
Yeah. If somebody lacked like protecting you as a child, right? Yeah. Then your protector is to protect yourself, right? Is to do the thing, is to God. I lost the we were talking about.
Is to be like to be angry, like you need somebody. It's like your
the anger. Thank you. I kept seeing defensive in my mind because I'm clairvoyant. So like I was seeing a football player, and I'm like, okay, Stephanie.
Yeah. No, it's
anger. What I'm trying to say is the anger is a great defensive, because you need it at a time when you're in survival, when you're in fight or flight.
And the people pleasing that comes with it afterwards, right? Because we end up being people pleasers because we don't want drama. So, and then we put ourselves on the back burner and we don't take care of ourselves. And like at some point you're going to get fed up with that shit. And like that's a good thing also. That's a sign of you're transforming and you're transmuting that negative energy. Okay, so now it's law of inspired action, right? So it's very, this one is a little different. It's about, again, having positive attitude toward the things that you already have. Like, people take things for granted all the time, right? Like, and they're not grateful for them. But like just waking up in the morning is like, you should be grateful you woke up, like you're not dead. Like giving gratitude for the little things is one of those things that is going to help bring more good things into your life. Because
absolutely, it's like an inspired thing, right? Like, so for instance, like things could not be going well. However, if you have shelter, right? Food in your belly, you have nature, you have beautiful things like that you can like experience, or if you have an animal like a pet or something, just these little things are things that open our heart chakra and really let us feel good.
Right.
And like the more you do that, right, the more that you're working with this law.
Right. And it's really important when things aren't going well. Like it's more important than like when you're down in the dumps, whatever, things aren't going your way, but like you can still find the capacity to be grateful for what you do have in spite of what you've lost or what you're lacking. That's like a big one, because think about it this way. You have everybody knows somebody that's just like really greedy and like, they have like, they don't appreciate anything. It's like, do you want to give them stuff? No, you don't. Right. Like, so it's like, think of the universe the same way. Like, why would they want to give you something when you show no gratitude towards any of the stuff that you already have?
Right. And Megan just said that right there with Learning to Live coaching. She said gratitude mindset. I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. Law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This is also tying back into the last ones, right? Transmuting energy.
Well, yes, and I'm going to say I think this one really expresses the importance of flow.
Yeah, it does. Yep, change. The only constant is change, right? Things always
absolutely change. And when you learn that and you can surf the changes, right? Like you're the calm, right, inside the storm of chaos, right?
Yeah, I have a problem with this one. I struggle with this one.
That might be a Virgo placement.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Stephanie, like, let's really quick. What's your so I'm a triple Leo. That's my signs. Like my main three are all Leo. So yeah. And you're what are your signs?
I am a water trine. So I am a Pisces sun, Scorpio moon, Cancer rising. So I am an empathetic healer through and through. Like I firmly believe actually that my signs have a lot to do with the fact that when I have a client like across from me, I feel where they hurt in their body.
Right.
You know, because our charts are like our energetic signature, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and like mine's that precog stuff. Like I just know what you're gonna say if you saying it, which is another one of my problems, that I cut people off a lot when they're talking, and I don't mean to do it. I can hear it already. So right. I already know what you're gonna say, and I'm working on it. It's ruined a lot of
I love it.
It's ruined a lot of like people don't like it. I warn
people.
A
lot of relationships.
It has. It's like I've had a lot of people be like, "You're just so inconsiderate," and like I'm like, "Well, that's not where I was going with it," but you know, I get it. I would think the same probably. So character flaw acknowledged and working on it. Okay, so then the next one is cause and effect. Again, we're back to physics, like from school. Like this is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? Yeah, there is.
This is where the law of sacrifice comes in Magick. Yeah. And this is where I say I'd rather somebody pay me than me require them to give me a sacrifice. And unfortunately, like people say, oh, there it is. There's a witchy thing, sacrifice. Oh my God, you know, right. But there is sacrifice in everything. Okay. Right. It's just an energetic law.
Yeah. You sacrifice when you go to work. You sacrifice time with your kids and your family, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It is exactly the same thing. It's not like
right, babies.
Oh my God, you have to kill something. No,
it's not that. It's not that.
Right. It's not that at all. Yeah. It's more like, oh, you have to stop doing the stupid thing in order to get the result. Oh, you won't do that? Okay, pay me cash, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then Morningstar said that natal charts are difficult to say. That person will actually be that way when tropical is an entire sign off from being accurate. Tropical Libra is actually a Virgo.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that. Like I don't know that much about astrology because that.
Yeah, we're not astrology people. No. Like we're not those kinds of witches. But I love them, and I would welcome any knowledge that you share.
So thank you for sharing that. I'm not sure what the chart. Like I guess that's a different type of chart. I'm not sure. Can you let us know, Morningstar? That'd be great. But like yeah. What is the metaphysics degree like? Oh, so metaphysics degree is freaking awesome. I go to John F. Kennedy University right now, and I'm taking this consciousness and transformative studies and transpersonal psychology. And so we're learning about all of everything we're talking about, like how like shamanistic traditions, you know, like how positive psychology, about like spiral dynamics, like anything that has to do with like understanding our place in the universe is basically what a metaphysics degree will entail. But I think everywhere you go, it might be a little different. So JFK University is more for like people that are going to be therapists, right? So we do a lot of psychology. A lot of that is, but it's not the kind that we're used to in here. Like it's not to check the boxes, and you know, it's incorporating the whole person and their cultural and religious experiences and background, because regular Western psychology does not do that. They don't take into consideration that stuff. Like if you say in the culture, you know, the belief in ghosts is very widespread and accepted. If you tell a psychologist that here, they think you're kind of nutty, right? But transpersonal psychology doesn't necessarily think that. We take all of that into consideration to go to a more holistic approach. Like, so, yeah. Oh, palmistry. So, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah. Palmistry is interesting too. There's so many things that are just so hardwired in our culture that like we don't even know about, that are, you know, divination. It's crazy. Thank you. So the law of compensation, sacrifice. Okay. So here, let's get the elephant out of the room, Stephanie. The law of compensation.
Okay, we ready for that one? Oh, right. Somebody's feelings gonna get hurt. Okay. So the law of compensation. I am a healer. I did not get that way overnight.
Right.
I had to be initiated by the energetics of our Western culture's version of an initiation, of a shamanic initiation.
A rough initiation, as they're called on our side.
A rough initiation, yeah. Correct. So because of that, right, I now have the ability to heal others because I survived it.
Right.
And I learned how to heal myself first by going into the mysteries, by going and understanding that, because my body had been racked with so many different diseases and things that should have killed me. And like all these really horrific like medical things happened to me, right? And like they should have I shouldn't be here right now. Right. And I am. And so because I'm an anomaly, I guess, basically, I'm compensated.
Right. But like, okay, so I just got published, guys. So like, in case anyone's interested, I just literally today submitted my article for publication and it was already approved on this topic. So I've done actual research, scientific research. I have studies that back it up, and it's published as of the 1st of May. This next month coming up, yay. And I'm really excited. It's about trauma, psychic ability, and the possible genetic component of it, because that's a new thing that we just discovered, that there might be genetics involved. So, like what Stephanie is saying, is like we all, like the rough initiations is in like very short, like condensed explanation of it is that it's when we're traumatized as kids, like by whatever. And a lot of people have bad upbringings, but that doesn't necessarily equate to trauma. It's not the same. At the level, like 97.5% of people that have psychic abilities, according to scientific research, and if you don't believe me that there is actually scientific research on it, Google it. Like trauma and psychic ability, scientific articles. You can type that in your Google search, and it'll come up with a ton of stuff. And like that trauma, like moderate to severe trauma, all experienced by 97.5% of people with psychic abilities. So like there's a reason for that. Like it's because that during that time in childhood, most kids are a little psychic, right? If you've been around children at all, you know that they have like a very keen intuition. So it gets shut off at some point, right? But when you experience trauma, it seems like what happens is that trauma expends so much energy from you that you don't have the capacity to shut off that channel. Right. So it stays open. And, also we dissociate when stuff gets too heavy. We leave our present and go somewhere else to be safe. That's why we have gaps in memory from child abuse and stuff. So those things are all thought, the collective, consensus at this point is that it has to do with that. It breaks us open and lets us be more in tune with the things that we need to survive our environment.
Right.
So we need to mind read. We need to be able to mind read. Like we need to know if our caregiver is going to go crazy on us right now or not. Like, should we not ask for that meal we need or, like that kind of stuff. So again, it goes all the way back to our primitive days. So, and like, I mean, all people have experienced trauma of some sort, but I'm talking about complex trauma.
Extreme, compound, complex, over lifetime,
systematic.
Like
abuse,
systematic, like things where some doctors have said like you shouldn't even be alive right now.
Like it's can't
miracle.
It's like, so this can play out as in like you're being molested or abused by a family member and you can't escape it because you're a child and you can't get out. And then later in life you're probably involved in domestic violence issues with partners because that's your go-to, because that's what's comfortable, even though you don't like it, because it's a subconscious thing. So it's like this systematic re-victimization also that happens over time. And some people handle it. So the thing is with people's psychic abilities, they tend to handle that stuff better than the people that deny and ignore those things within themselves. Like those people tend to have more prevalence of depression, anxiety, a bipolar disorder, things like that. Whereas people that are psychic will be more likely to be diagnosed with complex trauma, but not have debilitating issues that hold them back from their life. So, and also like your narrative, what your cultural narrative is like around, I grew up in a conservative, like super religious home. So I was told I was going to go to hell all the time, so I was terrified and I didn't even
I
accept.
grew up Catholic.
Yeah, like that's another, that stuff is, the whole dying thing helped me with that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So I don't have to worry about that fear anymore. But yeah, so like that's the prevailing theory at this point. So you guys, there's a good study about it right now from the Institute of Noetic Sciences that you can Google and look up about the genetic component also. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's a good one. I really loved that one, and I hope there's more research on it to come.
That's what I wrote that article for, to get hopefully more people will research. So the law of relativity is the ninth law, and what is that? Like, how would you, I guess, see that play out? Like, how is that a thing that plays out in your mind? The law of relativity. I mean, for me, it's like my experience is my experience, but it's relative to me. Like, it doesn't, like, you can't compare yourself to other people, like, because your experience is not theirs. So you have to, what's relative to you matters. It's not what's relative to everybody else. Like, like.
True, but also, okay, so we have like so many stories, right? Like there's only so many
7 stories ever told, right? Like Shakespeare said.
Right. And that's also the way we relate, right? And to our ego, and then to others, right? So there's a law of relativity there. Like that's how we're able to assess and understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you see this comment about RH factor right now? Yeah, this is a great point, Morningstar, because I actually found out something about this recently.
Oh yeah, this is a good one actually. I love this one.
Right.
Let's
so
talk
this
about
is
that.
like it's gonna be, people get offended. Okay. Like, so I mean, don't be offended. Like it's not coming from me. I am repeating this information. So the RH factor thing, like why is the RH negative of like such a, like the chosen kind, whatever? Well, I came across something and I can't verify it. So again, like I can't verify this. I've been looking, if anyone knows, let me know. But they're saying that because RH factor has to do with keeping bloodlines clean or pure, whatever, that those people are more susceptible to manipulation and to brainwashing. The positive factor ones are not. So like I don't doubt that your dad could see ghosts at all, because I'm O positive. I can definitely see stuff like that. But the RH negative ones are the ones that are more easily swayed, I guess, is that's what this person was saying. And this person supposedly has some ties to like, some secret society. So I don't know how legit they are, but it did make me think to myself, like, if I'm looking at people that I know in my life and I'm looking at that factor, like, yeah, I could see it in my personal experience only. Like, I'm not saying that's the same for everybody, but yeah. I don't know, like, yeah. So it hasn't, you're right, Megan. Yeah. It hasn't hindered you either. It hasn't hindered me in any way. So other than I don't have to like go give my blood for universal donor. So that's fine with me. But yeah, it's all relative. So, if you think that your story is the worst story, then that's relative to you, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Right.
The law of polarity, right? Yeah. The law of polarity is yin and yang, like, right? The opposites, the whole opposite.
Right. So you need opposites in order to balance things, right? So,
that's why there's no such thing as like only like people, white
light.
magic. Yeah.
Right.
It's a spectrum.
There's no such thing as only light, guys, because how do you recognize the light if you don't know the dark? And that's like the whole like thing of like understanding magic is having gone through the dark so you can understand it and understand how brilliant the light is, and you recognize it faster, right?
Yeah.
Because you know it now.
Yeah. And Morningstar, my mom too. Like we almost killed each other from that like RH factor situation. Yeah, it can be really dangerous, strange. So the 11th is law of rhythm. So this is motion, being in motion, like
inertia, right?
Yeah, like
something that wants to be in motion is going to continue in motion,
right,
until you stop it.
Or like if you want something, you can't just sit on your butt and like want it to knock at your door. Like you've got to do the work.
Right. Everything requires inspired action.
Right. Yeah, and that's just it. You can't just say, I'm gonna do a spell and bring this thing to me and then do nothing like after that. Like just like I need a job and then not go apply for jobs. That doesn't work that way.
Right.
Like, unless you're really lucky and it has, I'm sure somebody out there could be like, it worked for me because you knew somebody and they helped you out. That's why. But still, the work you did, it had already been done previously, right? Like
where are we at in the laws right now? Are we
We're on 12
through
now?
Well, we're at 12? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, because I was going to say after this,
gender.
Start opening up for questions.
Yeah,
and stuff,
the law of
but you know
gender.
what?
And like this one, I think we should probably just leave this one alone.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to leave this one alone.
You know what? That would be, okay, so all of these things actually are going to be in my embodiment coaching that is bare bones right now, but it's coming soon. Yeah. And the 12 universal laws, like we're talking about universal truths, right? So that'll be a whole thing that if you want to understand and want to go in depth with that, I'm your girl. And you can follow me on my socials in order to see when I'll be doing that.
Right.
We are taking questions.
Right. So now you guys questions. If you want, I have a question about like your personal, like we'll do mini reads for free. So go ahead and post your questions now, and then before we leave, that's what we'll spend the last few minutes here doing. Okay. So question. Go ahead. And Megan, let us know because I'm only looking at YouTube right now. So.
Okay. I'm ready. Let's see. Blue light paralysis in Alaska while pregnant with me. I came out with unique palmistry markings. Neither parent has in their hands. I tease mom about being ET's side chick. Does ET owe me child support? Morning Star, actually, I'm going to tell you something. That is actually probably very true because I see something about your mother being abducted. Okay. And I do read ETs. I've had several clients who have been ET. Okay. Go ahead. Anybody else?
Liz.
Okay. Yeah, Liz, you will. Yeah, there's a lot going on. These are all trials for you right now because you're in that healing process, and that's what happens. We have things that come up and kind of try to throw us off our path. So don't let it get to you. Like, don't let it work. It's just look at everything as like no, you're gonna be fine. You have you're gonna look at 2 of wands. So balance, absolutely. Balance. You're gonna be balanced. So intrusive thoughts. So let me tell you how to deal with that. You let them go through your head. You let them go and you play it out. Like,
they're not yours.
Yeah. When you try to suppress them, they make a bigger problem for you. So you have to just like let those dumb thoughts come in and go, okay, fine. So then what? All right, fine. Then what? Until you
I'm gonna interject here too, Liz. I'm gonna give you like a little bit of embodiment coaching, like a little flavoring here. Okay. You're healing from a breakup. Okay. Yeah. So these intrusive thoughts, honey, like what's happening is this is old programming that you just need to let fall out of your head. Okay. And a good meditation would to be like literally imagining all of these old like binary like looking cloud things just falling out of your head. And those are those intrusive thoughts because they're not you. And pretty soon you'll understand that they're not you.
Right. That could be like energy residue from the past. Right. Yeah. And self-esteem, of course, if you're dealing with a breakup, that's normal. Like those are normal feelings to have, and like you should just let yourself have them. Like instead of trying to suppress them, like because the longer you put them off, the longer it takes to heal. So you have to just like sit with it for a second. Only as long as necessary. Then you move on. You know, you don't dwell on it for too long.
And you know what? Self-esteem issues, you know what? I have a really good prescription for breakup self-esteem issues. You go and you get yourself the most hoochie mama outfit you can find and make yourself feel so hot.
Yep.
And realize that you are better off and they suck. That's just it.
And you look in the mirror and you're like, damn.
I was hot.
Like, look at their missing, you know, like, right? I mean, serious. Because, and we should never let other people make us feel like less than. We do that on our own just enough, right? Like our own imposter syndrome and our, inner critics bad enough. But yeah,
okay,
like,
but keep going.
No, I don't see. I mean, I don't see anything else. But like, anytime we do like break up from somebody, it's like we have to. that energy has to kind of separate, right? And so you're probably just dealing with those last bits of the energy residue that's left in your aura from that person. So
yep, I and I suggest maybe an aura cleansing, like if you can get one, like if you can burn your aura or have somebody else help you with it. Those are really helpful with getting rid of old programs. Jamie says, did my friend Phi lie on my ex Kuma? He stated that he was spreading bad things about me.
Okay, so
no, I'll let Anna answer this.
Oh wait,
one.
okay, so is this like a friend just told her that something happened?
Okay, so basically, did my friend lie? So do you think that, okay, so like basically this friend is saying that he was spreading bad things about her. So is it true that somebody was gossiping?
Yeah, like I got Ace of Swords here, so like this is about talking, like communications, right? And then I got Six of Swords. So I don't know, somebody's trying to like get you out of a situation, looks like. So maybe exaggerated a bit, but I think the person was doing it. Like this is let's see, hang on. I'm a 9, Morningstar. I'm a 9.
So back to hold on. 9. Jamie, I do feel like somebody's talking crap.
Yeah, there's people talking. There's somebody's talking, but it's like they're very immature. Like this Page of Cups. So there's like so somebody has an ulterior motive here. So like I don't know how much you trust your friend, but yeah, like it looks like there's somebody just talking. Yeah, somebody's talking, but it might be a little exaggerated for how bad it actually is. Like, if that makes sense.
Right, like somebody wants attention for like the gossiping, like, hey, look at me, I'm your friend, I'm telling you about this,
Right.
Really, they have ulterior motives.
Right,
as well.
There's an ulterior motive going on, so I would be careful with the person. Yeah, it looks like they might be the ones talking shit. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And then, okay. So Liz is asking how to do an aura cleansing. I want to answer that for her. So an aura cleansing, I use smoke or I also use fire. Fire is good for like burning energy, right? It's like faster and it's more extreme. And in my healings, what I do is like, I'll take like a candle, okay, like this. Or I can also take copal resin that I've lit on fire and it's smoking, right? Or frankincense or a type of other kind of resin incense that I put on my charcoal and like really get it going, okay? And what you do is you have the person standing here, right? And I actually show this on my TikTok, guys. You can go follow me, Stephanie the Gypsy Siren on TikTok, and I show what a auric clearing looks like. But what you do is you're waving it in the person's auric field and you're burning it over and over and over again until you get rid of all of these webs. And these are also proven in quantum mathematics, these webs that we get that are attachments from other people because it's other people's icky energy. Okay, so like it's really good to like do those regularly, especially if you have like ADHD. I've learned that's a really good thing to do because people who have that are more sensitive to other energies and that's why they get so distracted.
Yeah, it's definitely, that's it. So this is so like we didn't put our social media things on our banner. So like yours is Stephanie the Gypsy, right? What was it?
Stephanie the Gypsy Siren
right.
on TikTok.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And then mine's A Stone Tarot, like just Anna, like A for Anna, and my last name's Stone Tarot. So and then I also have an energy clearing video on YouTube, right? It's a very quick one. It's not as in depth as what she's talking about at all. So like after you do hers to maintain it, you could do the shorter one, but like to start off, you should do the in-depth one for sure to clean it all out, right? So so is that it? Is that it? Are we good? Do you have any more questions?
Do we have any other questions, Megan? Do you see any?
Morningstar was asking if you knew your life path numbers.
Yeah,
I know my life path number, but I don't know how to read them. My life path number is an 11, and so.
Oh yeah, you're the 11. Yeah. 11. I'm the 9.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, like cool. So you guys, thanks, Bright, for being here and like watching our first.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the gypsy comment. Yeah, I know a lot of people use it as it's a slur, you shouldn't use it, but I come from a long line of nomadic people, refugees, right? Yeah. Who had to keep to themselves because of their gifts. It runs in my family. It's in my genetics.
Oh yeah, I met your remember your great grandma lady.
Mm-hmm.
That one day. That was crazy. Yeah, you definitely do. Back in the old country, old times. Yeah.
Yes.
And I've experienced that myself with Stephanie. I know that's true because I spoke to her ancestor who slapped my hand. Remember that? She came up to me.
Yes.
Slapped my hand. I don't remember why she did that, but it was very bizarre and crazy.
It was to get your attention. I recall that, to let you know, hey, I'm here.
That was one of the first times I've ever had that happen, and it freaked me out. But now I'm much more used to it. But yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. So you guys, thanks. We're gonna be. How often are we doing this?
We are going to try to do this at least once weekly, but as soon as we have more followers also on TikTok, we'll be doing lives with readings for you guys. Right. One question is per donation, whatever. But we are going to continue doing this because we feel it's very important. So,
so if you have questions over the week, right? If you come up with questions, write them down, and then, we'll be happy to answer them.
Come to us on our socials and ask us, ask us on a post. Don't come to the DMs because we have far too many in our DMs. Yeah,
but if
come
you post,
to our post.
Yeah, anytime, because we're happy to answer any questions about witchcraft, the occult, whatever. Not astrology, is not my forte, but anything else, pretty much it goes. So, but yeah, so it was really nice to talk with you guys and be here. Thank you so much for hanging out, and hopefully you learned something, right?
Right. And I can't wait to share more about some topics. In fact, I think maybe next week would be a perfect time for us to specialty talk about money spells and money magic and understanding money energy.
Right. Yeah, because that's a tricky one. Yes. And if you guys have suggestions, feel free to message or post about that too, in the comments here.
Yeah, what you guys would like to know about that next week when we come on and talk about it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So make sure you guys subscribe to the notification if you want to come back. That'd be great. But and we're more than happy to answer questions. Let us know, because that's what we're trying to do, is spread knowledge that's based in actual fact and reality, and not just random, internet nonsense that I've been seeing. So we like to know what you want to know so we can facilitate that, right?
Yeah,
so, absolutely. So with that, I think we're done. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good for tonight. And thank you guys so much.
I am Save the World Type 9, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I am. I've saved everybody but myself. Yes, this is true. So, yeah. All right, guys. It's nice being here. See you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah, namaste.